Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Most Venerable Dhammika Thero, the Chief Monk of Canada and the United States, and the Chief Incumbent of Los Angeles Buddhist Vihara, Pasadena. And the Most Venerable Sir, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, the mind has been the topic today. You know, one of the most nervous moments of a monk's life, to share, to preach, or to talk in front of such a most venerable monks. So it's one of the most nervous moments of a monk's life, to preach in front of monks. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. That's mind. It's part of mind. Because mind is the forerunner of everything. Whatever we do, whatever we think, whatever emotions that pop up in our mind, everything is related to the mind. Mind is such a beautiful thing, and also mind is such a complicated subject too. If you knew the crazy, nasty, stupid, idiotic things that pop up in my mind, I would kill myself. If you knew. Is that funny? You think like you don't get those thoughts. You have the same thing. If I knew the crazy, nasty, stupid, idiotic things that pop up in your mind, you would kill yourself. We think that many crazy things. That's natural. That's natural. If we all were angels, we would not need a religion. We need a religion because we were not born angels. So, as human beings, compared to the other living beings, we have an extraordinary intelligence. Just because of that extraordinary intelligence, we do a lot of good, and also we do a lot of bad. Compared with other living beings. That's why it's pretty easy to do bad. It's very easy to do bad. You don't have to go to school to do that, to learn to do the bad things. You naturally learn them. But to do good things, you should be sent to school, to the temple, to the tuition classes, to the private classes, to the counselors, to do good. That's why we have the religion on the planet. Even the religion has been polluted by the human mind. The beauty of the religion has been polluted. That's why we got the labels, Buddhists, Christians, Catholics, Muslims, Christians, Jews, Hindus. We got so many different, religion followers just because of the mind. Who knows? This is Buddhism. We just gave the name, we labeled it. When the Buddha addressed the first 60 monks, he never ever said to the monks, go spread Buddhism, go propagate Buddhism. He never said, I have discovered Buddhism, so go talk to them, convert them into Buddhism. The Buddha never ever said. The Buddha said, Bahajana Hitaya, Bahajana Sikaya, Atta Hitaya, Devansaya. Whatever I have discovered, just go and teach people, guide people to purify their mind. He never ever said to spread Buddhism. The Buddha asked people to go, actually the Buddha asked the monks to go and teach people to find their salvation. The Buddha did not want to introduce Buddhism. We gave the label. That's why we fight over the religion. Most of the wars on the planet is because of the religion. To accumulate more followers to my religion. Does Buddhism need people? No. Buddhism does not need people. Does nature need people? Nature does not need people, but people need nature. It is nature. Even if you destroy the forest, if you cut off all the trees, if you destroy the nature, if you destroy the streams, rivers, lakes and everything, nature is ready to evolve. Because that's nature. All the streams, forests, waterfalls, all the natural things belong to the nature. So nature does not need people, but people need nature to live. The whole world will become a planet if you destroy the nature. But nature is there. Nature is ready to evolve. So the same thing, Buddhism does not need people, but people need Buddhism. Why we need Buddhism? Because we need inner peace. We need inner happiness. No matter how much money you have, how much property you have, how many children you have, how many cars you have, how many houses you have, how many jobs you have, how many businesses you have, none of them makes any sense if you don't have inner peace, inner happiness. We do everything by coming to the temple in the morning, observing 8 precepts, or usually we observe 5 precepts. But today, most of you might have observed the 8 precepts. That's for the mental training. To train our mind, to purify our mind. Why do we train our mind? Because we need inner peace and inner happiness. Let's forget about nirvana. Let's keep nirvana aside. Think about your mind, inner happiness and inner peace. One of the major obstacles to your inner peace is thinking. Is thinking. You think that much. Including me. As human beings, we think too much. So one of the major obstacles to your inner peace is thinking. I heard from one of the comedians in Canada, he said that women think more than men. I'm not sure. That's what he said. Women think more than men. And he says sometimes the man's mind goes blank. The man's mind goes blank. By any chance, if a woman walks by, she's going to ask you, what are you thinking? They cannot stop thinking, they don't leave others alone too. I didn't believe it, but it happened to me recently. I went somewhere with some people, I dropped them off, and I sat down by somewhere around there, And I did not have anything to think. I just sat down, a pretty young girl just passed by me and stopped and asked me, thinking, huh? That's what she asked me. To be honest, I was not thinking anything. Thinking, huh? She didn't leave me alone. So one of the major obstacles to your inner peace is thinking. You think that much. Sometimes you are 99%, you're 100% peaceful right now. Right now you're 100% peaceful, you're very happy, you don't have anything in your mind, you're happy. You're happy. By any chance, if somebody interrupts you, you start thinking. You forget your 99% happiness just because of 1%. Let me give this example. I heard this from an Australian monk, a British monk who lives in Australia. He says like this. You're peaceful, you're happy. Immediately somebody walks in and he calls you an idiot. He calls you an idiot. When somebody calls you an idiot, you immediately start thinking, how did he call me an idiot? He got no right to call me an idiot. How rude to call me an idiot. I'll get him somehow for calling me an idiot. See? That person called you an idiot one time. But how many times you thought of that? How did he call me an idiot? He got no right to call me an idiot. How rude to call me an idiot. I'll get him somehow for calling me an idiot. He called me an idiot just one time, you thought of that 4 times, it means you let that person to call an idiot 4 more times. 4 more times. Each time you think of that, you let that person to call you an idiot. The problem lies in there. What do you have to do? When somebody calls you an idiot, you immediately let it go. Let it go. Why do you allow outside people to control your mind? That's your mind. It belongs to you. Just like you maintain your physical body, you got to maintain your mentality too, your mind too. Especially when you have nice makeup and like skin decks, lipstick and everything, somebody comes and scratch your face. You immediately slap that person or kick him out. You try to protect your face. You don't want others to scratch your face. So why do you allow outside people to scratch your mind? Is it because you don't see the mind? Is it because it does not belong to you? Sometimes, they just start, polluting the minds by themselves for no reason. That's natural. Things happen. Things happen. But the Buddha said, you can purify your mind again. It doesn't mean when you do something bad, you got to suffer. No. You can get out of that. You can purify your mind again. Pavasaramidam bhikkhave chittam. O monks, the mind is very pure in its origin. Pavasaramidam bhikkhave chittam tanchako agantukehi upakkilese upakkilitam. The mind becomes polluted due to foreign things. When foreign things touch your mind becomes polluted. But you still got the potentiality to purify your mind. Doing what? Practicing meditation, or charity, or morality, or doing those things. By doing good, you can purify your mind again. It's like you're filtering water. Just filter. We filter water before we drink. So you can filter the things that, the bad, the negative things that pop up in your mind. Your mind becomes polluted because of the external thing, outside things. But you still got the potentiality to purify your mind. That's why we have Buddhism. Buddhism is here not for you to convert others into Buddhism. You can guide them to be happy. That's why the Buddha said, even the Buddha said, I'm not your savior. I'm not your God. I'm just a guide. Tummi kiccam atappam akhataro tathagata. I can show you the way. It's your responsibility to walk the path, to tread the path. The man is his own master. The man is his own destiny. If you really want to develop good, strong powers of concentration, it is not what you do while you are sitting with your eyes closed. People think when I go to the temple, sit by the Buddha and close my eyes, keep my palms in the lap, then start meditating, then everything is going to go away from me and my mind becomes be very peaceful. No. You should learn to tackle any activity that comes to your mind. When you are here, so many things come into you. Even now, physically you may be here, but your minds are somewhere else. Believe me. Maybe at the house, maybe at a school, maybe somewhere else. Or since you are living, you are staying here from the morning. Some people may be very tired. They may want to go home. The mind is, saying, how much time this harm is taking to finish this Dhamma talk. It's natural. Not just the devotees, even the monks have the same thing. Until we find our salvation, our mind is running here and there. Physically you may be here, but mentally maybe somewhere else. Let me relate a story. Yes, it was a nice story back in Sri Lanka. Do you mind if I relate a story in Sinhala language? Because I can do that in English, but you don't feel it that much, to be honest. If you want to get the real feeling, let me do that in Sinhala language. So that makes sense then. Lokohandro mehem pupiwade inna gama purihamane guru pawan saranne කියලා. පටාතේ. pawan saranne ගත්තලු. pawan සලසලා යනකොට ලොකෝ පුරියාමනේ ගියාලු හිතගෙන ගත්තා. කොහේද දැක්ක ගෑනවා කියලා තියෙනවා. කොහේද දැක්ක ගෑනවා කියලා හිත ගිහිල්ලා දැන් පුරියාම කල්පනා කරනකොට මම දැන් දවසක සිවුරැල්ල යනවා. සිවුරැල්ල ගිහිල්ලා මම ගෑනවා මේ කසාද පදිනවා. අර ගෑනවා මේ කසාද බැඳලා මම මොකද රස්සාවක් හොයාගෙන රස්සාවක් කරගෙන දරුවා හදනවා. දරුවෝ හදාගෙන ඉන්නකොට මම දරුවෝ දෙනවා රෝණට බලාගෙන. දැන් මේ පවන් සලකලා මම කොහොමද හිතන්නේ? මේ පවන් සලකලා හිතනවා දැන් ඉතින් ළමයා බලාගෙන දෙනවා දීලා බැරි වෙලා හරි මගේ නෝනා ළමයා දිම දැම්මොත් මම දෙනවා නෝනට එකක් කියලා කැපුවට අපිට ගහනකොට physically that monk was right there, but his mind was not there. He was out of mind. Lokoharu gadana vedare lokoharu ever podina gෑනට ගහව පාරණියද මට වැදුනේ ලොකෝහාමුදුරු රහත් වෙලා ලොකෝහාමුදුරු මනස දැක්කම යාට two different minds. This is the nature of our mind. You might have heard this word mind like hundreds or thousands of times in your life, but you still don't know what mind means. The modern science, the technology said the mind is located in the heart. Because when something happens, your heart starts beeping, bumping and beating up. So they thought, mind is located in the heart. And then the psychologist said, no, it's located in the brain. It's not located in the heart, it's located in the brain. Then they were arguing. Finally, they all said, no, mind is not located anywhere. It's not located in anywhere. We still don't know what mind means. That's an energy, like electricity. We don't see it, but you feel it. But mind is the fastest object on the planet. The fastest. Sometimes you see the lightning It appears and disappears, the lightning. You don't even have time to see that lightning sometimes. You know, when you wink and open, it's gone. But your mind works 1,000 times faster than that. 1,000 times. Whatever we do, even these buildings, your clothes, your makeup, or whatever, everything first starts in the mind. That's why Albert Einstein said, mind started first, whatever happened. Mind started first. And the Buddha said 2,600 years ago, Viññānam mātakusmiṃ okkamati. Viññānam mātakusmiṃ okkamati. The departed person's mind, the last dead conscious thought. Mātakusmiṃ means the womb. Okkamati, settle down first in the womb. Then the other elements start beginning up and another living being gonna go there. Gonna happen there. Or before with the conceived, the mind starts first. Ideology, everything is ideology. You look at your phone, how many apps are in there? Like Uber, Lyft, Facebook, Twitter, so many apps. They make millions of dollars just because of the one app. They start first in your mind. After that, you generate it, you practice it. Everything starts in the mind. If the airplane, when they discovered the flight, the Wright brothers, it first originated in the mind. Then they made the airplane. That's why the Buddha said, Mano pubbangama dhamma, mano siddha manoya. Mano pubbangama dhamma, mind is the forerunner of every single thing. Mind is chief. Everything is mind wrought. Everything. Everything is mind wrought. So, the Buddha said, so the science said, the mind is located in the heart, then the psychologist said it's located in the brain, then the Oho said it's not located anywhere. Then the Buddha said, 2,600 years ago, Dhuram gamam ekacharam asariram guhasaya. Ye chitta. Dhuram gamam. It goes far away. It goes far away. Ekacharam. It wanders alone. It wanders alone. It doesn't have a friend. It doesn't have any companion. There are 7.6 billion people on the planet now, by last May 2018. 7.6 billion minds are there. 7.6 billion people are thinking in 7.6 billion different ways. Don't think that your wife thinks that the way that you think. Don't expect that. Though you live like 40, 50 years together, you still cannot understand the mentality of your wife. It's the same thing with the wife. Don't think that your husband is thinking the way that you are thinking. Even if you got married to him like 40, 50, 60, 70 years, you still cannot understand the mentality of your husband. Asariram. It doesn't have a body, it is bodiless, formless. Guhasayam. It lies in a cave. It lies in a cave. Ye chitta is the mind. Sanyamessanti mukhanti mahavandana. If you and I could dominate, control this mind, we can get rid of all the mental defilements, and then we can find the ultimate happiness of Nibbana. When you practice Dana, Sila, Bhavana, you develop your mind It's the basic idea of doing all those things. Even if you pour water into the bodhi tree, you need some inner peace. It gives you the nudge to stay happy. Some people may think, some people from outside, oh, he's pouring water into the bodhi tree and, light candles and joss sticks. What is he going to get? He's wasting money. No. You have to look into that person's mind. He gains some inner happiness. We do everything to gain inner happiness. Then, when our mind with insight comes to the full maturity, your nirvana is right there. You don't have to go in search of nirvana. The nirvana will come to you. Nirvana will come to you. So we do every single thing to live happily. Dharma. You work hard, you make money so hard, but you just give away your things. You don't expect anything but to gain inner happiness. You get more when you do, when you share, when you offer. That's the basic idea. But we need inner happiness by sharing our things. Dharma is sharing. People try to explain dharma as give, but I don't like that much. Because if you ask these kids to give you toys to their friends, they're not going to do that. If you told your children to give away the toys to friends, no. If you told them to share with the friends, they will do that. So you don't offer all your materials to the monks. Just share with the monks. Then sila. Sila, when we hear this word, we think sila means, we gotta go to the temple, we gotta observe 5 precepts, we have to pay homage to the Buddha, and then we got to protect or preserve the 5 precepts, secure the 5 precepts. Now, sila means not that. Sila means you have to become a super duper nice person to others. It's all part of mentality, mind training. You become a very nice person to others. That's what we expect from Srila. Not just observing 5 precepts. Get the first precept, Panadipata Viramani Sikkhatana Samadhyana. We just say, I refrain from killing. That's the meaning we get. Sometimes people may say, no, I don't have to kill, but I can beat up someone. People may think like that. No. It doesn't mean that you have to get rid of killing. No. You have to refrain from disturbing and harming other living beings either physically, verbally, or emotionally. If you hurt someone emotionally, it is worse than you beating up someone. Because if you beat up someone, within 5-10 minutes, he'll be back to normal, she'll be back to normal. If you beat up your wife or husband, these days they both can beat up each other. It means you should not hurt them emotionally, especially. If you beat up, you'll forget it. But emotionally, if you hurt someone, it may lead to stress, then depression, then maybe go crazy, and eventually they will kill themselves. You got to be very careful when you hurt someone emotionally. That's mind related. Because if your mind is not pure, if your mind is not peaceful, if your mind is not calm and quiet, your nervous system is gonna go bad. Your circulation is not that good. Your breathing is not that good. Your body function is not that good. So physically you're going to lose everything when you're down mentally. So especially you got to be very careful when you create karma, when you hurt someone. Don't want to do that. So either physically, verbally, or emotionally, especially emotionally. So from the first precept we expect that. Don't hurt anyone. People think, I should not kill because I go to hell if I kill. Is that the main idea in Buddhism? No. You refrain from killing means if you kill, you go to hell. Of course, you may go to hell, it's a different matter. But in Buddhism, it just say to you not to kill. It's because every single living being on the planet has the right to live. That's the idea on the first precept. Every single living being on the planet has the right to live. It doesn't mean that you go to hell when you kill. Sometimes they may think, oh, if I don't go to here, I can kill. No. Because you have to protect, preserve and secure the life of other living beings. So you become a super duper nice person to every single living being on the planet. That's what we expect from Sila, mind training. And then Bhavana, the mental training. When you hear the word Bhavana, you think, I got to go to the temple and sit down and cross my legs, keep my hands and palms in the lap and close my eyes and be mindful. I breathe in, I breathe out, I breathe in, breathe out. No. What do you mean by meditation? Try to keep the balance in your mind. You don't need a particular posture or a place. When you go for us, you may feel better, but while cooking, I'm cooking. Be mindful on what you are doing. That's why people complain, when they come to the temple, oh, I cannot go to the temple because I cannot keep my mind. It goes here and there because you haven't done homework. As soon as you jump into the main vihara and start meditating, your mind is running here and there. It doesn't stay because you haven't done homework. So you have to do your homework at home. Just be mindful. I'm sleeping, I'm cooking, I'm studying, whatever you do, be mindful on that. Then you live in the present moment. Then when it comes to the point of closing your eyes, your mind is right there. You don't have to go in search of mind. You don't have to chase down your mind. Hey, mind, come back. No, you don't have to because you have done homework. You know how to tackle it. You know how to keep it within you. You have learned to be focused on any activity when the mind is running here and there. And also, you know how to be strict with your mind when it is trying to be wild. When your mind is running here and there, you know how to be strict with your mind. Sometimes you have to be strict with your mind, especially when you are not mindful, pretty bad. Very bad. It goes here and there, that's natural. That's natural. So, Bhavana means you keep the balance in your mind. People go to different retreats, they go for 1 day retreat, 2 day retreat, 1 week, 2 week, they think, they can get some kind of, progress in their life and get the meditation levels. Because, in most places they issue certificates these days. When you go to the retreats, it has become a business now. There are good places, I'm not saying everyone, but it has become a business now. Let me give you an example. One of the Australians, he was so interested in Buddhism. He was very interested in Buddhism. One day, he wanted to go on a retreat. He was Googling. When he Googled, finally he found Sri Lanka. And he found a very nice retreat place. He got 2 weeks off. He went there. He kept his wife and children back at home, and he took some vacation from his work and he went there for a retreat. And he started the retreat. When he first started the retreat, he was doing okay. In a couple of 2 or 3 days later, he called his wife back in Australia. Sick. The wife was waiting for a phone call from the husband. It's been like a couple of days now. Hey honey, I'm doing very well now. Oh yeah, the wife was so excited to know what's going on. What happened? Now I'm on the first stage. In Buddhism we talk about 4 stages. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami and Arahant. By any chance, if you become Sotapanna, you just have 7 lives. This life and 6 more, then you are done. You find your salvation or nirvana, liberation. And then, the second stage is Sakadagami. Sakadagami means once return. If you become a Sakadagami with once return, you have just 2 lives. The present life and one more. Then you are done. You find your salvation or nirvana. And the third stage is anagami. Agami means coming, anagami means not coming. Then you go and settle down in a Brahma realm, very high spiritual realm, and you find your nirvana over there. You're not going to be reborn in the human world. By any chance, if you become arahanta, then you are done. You're done. You already reached your goal. So, this gentleman called his wife back in home and said, I'm on the first stage now. And she did not know what it is, and she asked me, what is that? I'm a stream entrant. Stream entrant, the first one. He has already entered the stream. He's not going to go out of the stream. He's in the stream now, towards nirvana. She did not have much knowledge about these technical words that we use in Buddhism, like form of dependent origination, noble eightfold path, Sotapanna, stream entrant, once returner, never returner. She did not have any idea. She hasn't had any, knowledge of Buddhism. Then the wife said, how do you know? You're on the first stage. My master gave me a certificate. I got a certificate from my master. This is certified. Mr. John has successfully completed the first week, and he already obtained reached the first stage of Sotapanna. So he got a certificate. Like in 4-5 days, he called his wife back in home. And he said, honey, I'm on the second stage. What is that? Now I'm a once returner. She goes, what? This man is not going to come home or what? He said, this is once returner. What's going to happen? And she said, okay, keep it up. Then again, he called his wife in a week or two and said, what? Now I'm on the third stage. What is that? No, I'm never returner. Oh no, come home. You got to go to work. Shows that he's not going to go home. You got to go to work. We got to take care of the bills and kids got to go to school. I need a family life. I need you. I cannot live without. Who's going to pay the mortgage? And so many questions. You know how women talk when it comes to the point. So just because of these things, even the meditation has become a business. But believe me. They never ever issue certificates saying that you already attained nirvana. Because they lose business. When you are done, you don't go there anymore. If you get the last certificate, only maximum 3 certificates. So, meditation means keep the balance in your mind. Keep the balance in your mind. You can go to retreats. I don't complain, but you gotta be very careful. Don't get any certificates. Because even that person doesn't have anything and he's going to show you, I can read your past birth, future birth. I was in India in my last birth, and I have become Arahanta now. So many cheaters now. So many cheaters. Everything, just because of the polluted mind. So, done and share things when it comes to the point when you really want to share something. If you don't feel, don't do that, because then you lose money and you don't have any good mates too. You have nothing then. So share. Then become a super duper nice person to others. That's sila means. And then bhavana, keep the balance in your mind, even at your house, even at the temple, anywhere. And if you really want to develop it into more stages, then start practicing yourself, or you can get the guidance from the mother, monks, or other well-educated, knowledgeable people. Then when your mind comes to the full maturity, your nirvana is right there. Nirvana is right there. So the mind is a wonderful thing, in a way. And also, we do every single thing to stay happy. To be happy. That's why people want to be like millionaires. They want to be super duper rich. They think the money is going to solve all their problems. And also some people, I heard they want to be born as a cat or dog. They think a cat or dog does not need to go to work on a Monday morning. So they want to be born as a cat or dog. And some people are even most when I want to be a millionaire, so I can, live happily forever. It does not guarantee your happiness. It does, but to a certain degree, you need inner happiness. Let me relate another story. I heard this from a British monk too. This particular story began on the coast of Mexico. There was an American on vacation. It happened by a fishing village. That American was on vacation over there by a hotel. He was living in a hotel. And one day he saw a fisherman, a Mexican, was coming out of his boat. He tied his boat and he was letting out. He was watching this man for a few days. And one day this gentleman stopped that man and asked him, "Excuse me, sir, would you please tell me, if you don't mind, what are you doing?" I'm just fishing for many years now. I have been fishing. I caught enough fish. Some fish to sell to pay my bills, some fish for my family. And now I'm leaving for my lunch. And after lunch, I take a little siesta, little nap. And then in the evening, around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I play with my kids. After the lunch with my kids and my wife, I take a nap, then I play with my kids. And in the evening, I go to the canteen and play the guitar. They enjoy it like that. So, and he said with a very relaxing mind. And this gentleman who was on vacation is from America. He was a business professor. He was a business professor from a very reputed university in the United States. And he said, if you don't mind, I can give you some advice. Some advice. I'm a business professor. I know these things. He said, yeah, go ahead, sir. And he said, why don't you go like 2 times instead of going 1 time? After lunch, you just don't take the siesta, go back fishing again. Then you can catch more fish. In a year or 2, you can accumulate a lot of, collect some money, extra money. Then you can hire some other people to fish with you. And then in a few years, you can buy the second boat. You can buy the second boat. After you buy the second boat, you can hire a crew. Then in 4 or 5 years, for sure, you can have a whole fleet of boats. Then, after that, you can make a lot of money and you can move your business to Los Angeles. And then you can diversify your business. You can diversify your business, and you can become the CEO of your company, and you can be awarded with a good salary. You are the boss. And in a while you can float your business on stock market, and then you can go back for the share buyback, and you can make millions of dollars. I have been talking to people, teaching people to be rich like that because I have a lot of experience. So why don't you do that? He heard this story very peacefully, and he said finally, Senor, what would you do with all those millions of dollars? Then he got stuck. Most business professors tell you how to make money, but they don't have a proper plan after that. Then he got stuck, and he said, after you make millions of dollars, you can retire. You can retire to a nice, beautiful fishing village like this. Then you can buy a boat. You can go fishing. Then you can unload your catch for the family, and then you can go for the lunch with the wife and children. And then you can have a little siesta. And then, you can play with your kids in the evening. And after that, in the evening you can go to the canteen and play the guitar with your friends. And he said, Senor, I already do that. That's what I am doing now. Is that the case? You want to be super duper rich so you can live like a poor man again? No. So, inner happiness. So, we do every single thing to have inner happiness. Then you can lead that inner happiness, inner peace towards nirvana. So for the moment, forget about nirvana. Just try to maintain the balance in your mind, inner happiness, inner peace, then we know you're on the right path. Things may come, pop up, and it can disturb your mind. But again, you can purify. Sachitta Pariyodapana. Sachitta Pariyodapana. There are 4 faculties. The mind is divided into 4 faculties: Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. The feelings or sensations, then perceptions, then mental formations, Sankhara. Mental formations. In English, they don't have a proper word to define this word, Sankhara. So, mental formations, and then Vijnana, consciousness. And when you do all these things, you're on the right path. Right path. Sometimes it is pretty difficult to understand your mind. Sometimes there could be a person who has purified the mind and attained all nirvana. We don't know. We don't know. Their minds are unshaken. Unshaken. They brought their mind to the full maturity. There may be people, there may be monks in the forest who practice meditation deeply. That's why, that story of that Lokohamatra and Purihamatra, Lokohamatra was already attained nirvana. Purihamatra didn't know. Didn't know. The nature of mind is like that. You may relate this rather Sri Lankan story, which is one of the true stories. We do that in Sinhala language as well. Lokohamatra Purihamatra කෙලේ ගියාලු භාවනා කරන්න ගියාට පස්සේ ඉස්සර යනවා බැංක් එකක් අරගෙන ගියාලු ගිහින් ඉවරලා ලෑස්තිලා භාවනා කරා. ලෑස්තිලාට පස්සේ ගුරු ගෞරවය පිණිස ලොකුහාමුදුරන්ට වතුර ගේන්න මොනියාම කියලා පල්ලෙහාට ගියා. ඇරට ගියාම දර ගන්න ආපු ගෑනම ඉන්නකොට ලොකුහාමුදුර පොඩිහාම පැනලා ගියා. ලොකුහාම පැනලා ගියා. ගිහිල්ලා කාලයක් ගත වෙලා ආපහු පොඩිහාමුදුරන්ට මෙලිසිරුවන්වන්සේ ජීවිතේ පාර ආපහු කරගෙන ලොකුහාමුදුරන්ගේ කැලේට එනවා. එනකොට අර බැංක් ඉන්දියා අතර තියෙනවා. ලොකුහාමුදුර ගහනවා ඉන්නවා. ලොකුහාමුදුර අහනවා වතුර ගේන්න මෙච්චර ප්‍රමාදණීයයි කියලා. මාස් අපි නම් කොහොමද? How we talk when things happen like that, you go really mad, really mad. You don't know where you are. You become a totally different person. And Lokohamatra, that's why you got that much weight to bring on. Lokohamatra was enlightened by that time. The mind. There are many stories like that in Buddhism that can apply into your life. So try to be peaceful, try to be mindful. To block all the external things, you can meditate on your breath. Then you live in the present moment. Live in the present moment. When you live in the present moment, your mind does not run anything. That's why as monks we try to train our minds, we try to purify our minds in a different way. As ordinary, lay people, you do in another way. When you have a tighter schedule, you just reserve your time to go to the temple, practice good karma, good things. Dana, Sila, Bhavana, by doing those things, you try to train your mind in that way. That's why the Buddha compared monks to a swan. And you people are to a peacock. So we say the monks are a swan and you are a peacock. To be honest, which bird is more beautiful, the swan or peacock? Peacock. Peacock is very beautiful, more beautiful than a swan. You see when the peacock spreads the feathers, how beautiful it is. Compared to you, look at you, compared to me, you and I, see how beautiful we are than me. You have nice hairstyles. How many hairstyles today in the world? Different hairstyle. The hairstyle today has totally changed by tomorrow and a different one comes in. Braid, French braid, waterfall, ponytail, sports cut, business cut, so many cuts. But this is the only cut we got for 2600 years. I would like to have hair like you, but I can't. Everybody likes to be, beautiful. That's natural as human beings. I don't like to be old. You like to be old? No. That's an American dream. To be young, wealthy, and beautiful forever. That's an American dream. Only the Sri Lankan dream for everybody. I like that too. I like the haircut like you got, but I cannot do. I train my mind in this way, and you train your mind that way. And you close, you get your clothes. The one you dress today, you got, 4 different clothes, the dresses for the 4 seasons. You got one in the spring, the other one in summer, the other one in fall, and by December you got totally different clothes. But look at this robe, 2600 years, still same, just few colors. Maybe maroon, or yellow, or orange, and brown or something, that's it. There's a reason for that too. That's a totally different story, but this is the monk's regular robe. So, and the ornaments, you got watches, you got the necklaces, rings, earrings, how many things? And you got all the makeups, lipsticks, Q-tips, and hair dye, and so many things. So you are a peacock, according to the Buddha. You look very beautiful, and monks are a swan. Monks are a swan. But tell me, which bird can fly faster and longer? A swan, not a peacock. Peacock flies just 10 feet and drops and lands and starts again. And the peacock flies like 10 more feet and lands again. Very heavy. But the swan can fly farther and faster than the peacock. So the Buddha said, monks can go to the nirvana faster than the other lay people. That's why you will compare to a peacock, and the monks will compare to a swan. And the other thing, look at your responsibilities. You got to take care of your bills. You get to take care of your mortgage, take care of the temple, take care of your kids, take care of yourself, your job. How much responsibilities you have? So your life is tight. Your life is heavy, heavier than the monks, just like the swan and a peacock. So we train the mind this way, and you train the mind that way. Either way, we all, as Buddhists, we all try to find the liberation of nirvana, because the materialistic world does not guarantee happiness. Your money or cars or property, or they don't guarantee happiness. You sat down here like almost an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, I believe. And right now, see, you may have your back hurts you, your legs hurt you, because the materialistic world does not guarantee happiness. That's why Prince Siddhartha got married when he was 16. When his mind came to the full maturity, at the age of 29, he became a monk. At the age of 35, he was fully enlightened, awakened, and from 35 to 80, he was talking to the people what he discovered, which is nirvana, liberation, salvation, soteriological release from life cycle of samsara. To reach that greatest happiness, to find the greatest happiness, all these things are giving us the nudge. These are supporting us. I guess this is pretty much. So I do hope that you have understood kind of what mind means, the way it acts, and what you have to do to tackle the mind. So live your normal life, be nice to your parents, be nice to your parents, children, brothers, sisters, neighbors, and everyone. Live happily. Enjoy your life. Don't get too much stress by going to retreat centers and getting certificates, because my neighbor got a certificate, I want to go to Nirvana too. No, it's not going to happen. So Don't live in the past. Don't dream about your future too much. You can have, go to a certain degree, but not too much, like winning a lottery, like that Porihandu was thinking of that woman, you know, get married to this woman, get children, get a job, you know, like that. So don't dream too much. Live in the present moment. That's what the Buddha said. When one of the Brahmins asked the Buddha the secret of the Buddha's inner happiness and the features, the beautiful features, the Buddha said, "Oh Brahmin, atitam na sochanti, na prajapanti nagatam, vattamane sujivanti, tenavanno pasidati." Oh Brahmin, I don't repent all my past. Past is past. It's gone. Sometimes people start thinking about their past. You know, I have done that, I have done this, you know, I have to suffer, I have... Even, for example, even if you have killed a person, what can you do? It's like it already happened. If Angulimala Hamguru thought that way, he could never ever change anyone. He killed thousands of people. You can get the experience from your past not to happen that again. Not to happen that again. If you have something serious, you know, some serious bad karma in the past, even if you keep thinking about that, what is going to happen? You cannot overturn it. It's gone, it already happened. That's your past, but get that experience and got to be responsible by yourself talking to you, hey, I should not do this again. Try to keep the balance in your mind. And then don't dream about lottery. I mean, future, like so many dreams. You can have dreams, but you know, to a certain degree. Because if you think too much about the future, you lose your beautiful time in the present. You lose that present moment, which is the most beautiful time. Atitam na sochanti, na prajapanti nagatam. I don't dream about the future because future hasn't come yet. Future is future. Vattamane sujivanti, live in the present. Thero pasidati. Oh Brahmin, this is the secret of my inner happiness, inner peace and beautiful features. That's what the Buddha said. So as Buddhists or any other religion follower, Buddhism does not belong to Buddhists alone. It belongs to every single being on the planet. Don't think that Buddhism means only my religion. No, it's part of the nature. The next Buddha could be a Muslim follower. Who knows? One day, if Muslim religion is going to be existent by that time, maybe a white man, maybe a Chinese. Who knows? So this is part of the nature. Part of the nature. Buddhism is part of the nature. What happens when people's mind become corrupted, when they get out of their the spirituality, the good things gonna hide in the society. It's going to hide in the society. But it is still there. The Four Noble Truths, the dependent origination, Nirvana, Noble Eightfold Path, everything is living on the planet. Existent on the planet. They hide another day, like Prince Siddhartha, like the Gautama Buddha, another person called Maitri Buddha will come and he's going to rediscover the same thing. He's not going to create anything new. The same Four Noble Truths, the same Nirvana, the same Noble Eightfold Path. If you cannot attain your Nirvana in this life or under this Buddha, you still got millions of lives. Or this is not your only life. Death is not the end of your life. Death is the beginning of your next life, future life. So we keep rotating in this life cycle. One day, we can get out of this life cycle, which we call the Nirvana. Let's share the merits now. So, by coming to the temple from the morning, you have done a lot of meritorious deeds. By the power of the good karma you have done, may the devas share these merits. May the devas will protect you, may Nayana will protect, and may you all be protected by the devas. Eventually, may the devas attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Say sadhu, please. And then May all your departed relatives share these merits. All the sponsors of the ceremony today share these merits. May they be well and happy. May they find their greatest happiness of Nibbana. Say sadhu, please. And finally, by the power of all the good karma that we have done here today, may our life will be well, happy and peaceful. Lord, be the humble and holy and resident monks, and the nuns, the visiting monks, we pray everybody will be well, happy and peaceful. May all the attendants of the ceremony today be well, happy and peaceful. Eventually, may we all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Say sadhu, please. Let's share the merits with the divine power. Follow me, let's do it together. Akasatha Chagumata Devanaga Mahitika Punyantam Anumodita Chiran Rakhantu Loka Sasanam Akasatha Chagumata Devanaga Punyantam Chiran Rakhantu Desanam Akasatha Chagumata Devanaga Punyantam Anumoditva Chiran Rakhantu Mam Paranti. God bless you. God bless the United States. Thank you.